in case I forget. So we'll just do that right now for Victoria. And her and I will catch up one-on-one just to make sure she's right in line with where we're all desiring to be as of week 3. So in the chat, I kind of said to you guys that we're going to put it all together, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about something that's really going to help you with talking to people about oils. We did a little bit last week with Yvonne regarding verbiage, but this is going to be specific to the person you're talking to. So this is going to give you the key to be able to speak someone's language, okay? Have you guys ever been traveling or in a setting where somebody speaks a different language with you and you're trying to communicate? Like you're saying like, you know, I want a coffee, and they're maybe not understanding you back, and they're talking in their language back to you, and it's just kind of like, you know, you sort of get bits and pieces of it, but it's not, the message is warped a little bit, and it's not 100% how you desire to communicate. So what we're going to talk about tonight is related to that, and how there really are different ways and different personality types in the world that we communicate with on a daily basis, about oils and not about oils. This extends into any which situation you find yourself in on a day-to-day basis. You can take this into your day job, you can take it into your relationships, you can start to kind of characterize your family and friends, and that's how like applicable this is to life, which makes it super applicable to our business. So first, let's oil up. It has been a while since I've oiled up today. I'm going to use some, I don't know if you guys have heard this oil called Hong Kwai. It's kind of like Royal Hawaiian sandalwood, but it's a little bit less pricey, and it's like the same kind of syrupy tree goodness. It's just so good. What are you guys oiling up? Donna, you got
peace and calming.
Nice, perfect. Acceptance. Is that acceptance? Yeah. Oh, great. What an awesome oil. Perfect. Okay. Let's move into a little bit of this. First things first, actually, otherwise I'm totally going to forget this piece. Does anyone want to share anything cool that's happening in your business, any conversations you've had with people about oils, anything that happened because of your inspired action last week? Just if you feel called to share, I would just love to hear it. It helps to solidify the growth that you're experiencing while you're in these 4 weeks when you share about it.
I got to teach my mom about her starter kit, so she's really excited. I think I'll have to teach her about 5 times for her to get it. But she's really excited. And then today I actually had a nice visit with her mom, so my baba, and I talked to her about oils and stuff, and I specifically told her about thieves because she always gets really worried about getting sick in the wintertime. So she immediately was like, okay, I want one of those new diffusers and I need you to get me thieves. So we got into that, but it was perfect. So I was excited that she was super into it. I wasn't expecting that, actually, considering, like, you know, she's 87. What does she care, really?
Yes.
But yeah, it was awesome.
Well, I love that. My grandma is actually one of my most diligent customers. Like, she doesn't order a lot of different things, but she's so religious with her lavender that it's just like, I'll get a text like, order grandma more lavender, and I just like pop it in. So totally. Yeah. And your warm network, right now, Jenna, what's happening is they're catching wind. Like, what is it that Jenna's into? Like, and you know, what are the positive effects that she's noticing? And the more your mom and your baba start to see results from the things that they're using, the more that's going to continue on, and they're going to talk about it to your auntie and their neighbor and their friend.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, this is how our network grows, right? Through that natural, organic sharing. So super cool. I love that. And I love how your tiny inspired action was to teach your mom about her kit. And from that stemmed into a whole other conversation with somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that I'm sure you would want nothing more than for her to stay healthy, through
Oh,
fall and
absolutely.
winter and forever, right? So
Yeah,
beautiful. I
totally.
love it. Great job. Awesome.
Thank
Anyone else
you.
want to share?
I had out the outdoor blend yesterday, sitting in the backyard, and I just put it on myself, and I didn't say anything to anybody, and then left it on the table, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And they all rubbed it on. They're like, "This smells amazing. This is fantastic." And then no one put it on their feet, and everybody got bit on their feet. So like, it works, but I didn't put it on my feet.
You're like, here's the purification for your bite, right?
Yeah, just no more itching.
I love it. Oh, perfect. Yeah. And then again, that natural, like, this is what I'm using, that exposure to products in those natural settings is just like fantastic. So awesome, Crystal. Yay. Shayla, did you want to share anything?
So just with respect to using my Verbage, I use that quite a few times, particularly near the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
And I think from that, I don't know if that that contributed to a conversation that I had with a friend for a good long hour maybe, talking about oils and whatnot. But it happened. So
Wow, awesome. So there's a chance that the correct verbiage opened up that opportunity for you to share about oils. Is that right? Cool. I love it. Which verbiage did you use?
It was she had posted something on Facebook. She had said, "Isn't it just terrible when seasonal allergies come up and you're just sniffling and sneezing all the time?" And I replied to her and I said, "Would it be okay if I shared with you a blend that I found very beneficial?" So that was the lavender, lemon, and peppermint. She didn't respond to that message in particular, but she did contact me later that day, I believe it was, and we had our conversation. So
cool. Yeah, I love Would It Be Okay. We're going to use it a few times today too, because it's quick. It kind of rolls off the tongue, and you can use it in, again, so many settings. Would it be okay if I go in front of you? Would it be okay if I pop out for half an hour and take a yoga class? Like the verbiage is very it's very persuasive in a very non-domineering way. So great job. Awesome, you guys. I love those reflections. Okay, so we are going to get into something called color personalities. And as I'm describing the color personalities, Crystal, this might be super review for you. And, some of you, like Shayla and Jenna, you guys might have already heard of these too. Many workplaces will have their employees go through this type of personality testing. But what's unique about what we do with color personalities, and it's going to be super applicable, like if you guys use the verbiage that I'm going to connect you with, you will get responses from people. Like it's a slam dunk almost every single time. It'll open up a conversation. Okay. So the other difference is that many people use personality testing or whatever to find out more about themselves. It's a very me. I'm this. I'm INFJ. I'm a type 2 Enneagram. I'm whatever. And this process, like this color personalities that we're going to talk about today, is an outward thing. We are looking at the world and the people around us, and we are starting to mentally characterize what color they might be. Okay, now granted, we all have all 4 colors. Okay, so if you're like, I don't know, they might be this or they might be that, don't worry about it. You might have a red-blue split. That's totally fine. You can use either verbiage, or let's say you think they're a little bit more red than they are blue. You're going to use the red verbiage on them, and you can kind of see how that goes. So this characterization, this is where we can start this tonight. Like, you guys, at the end of the call, I want you to tell me, 2 people in your life, what colors are they and why do you think they're that color? So as we go through, I just want you to jot down the name of one person in your life that's each color. That'll be more helpful for you to identify somebody, and then they can be kind of like your quote model for what that personality is like. So I'm going to describe the first. It's the yellow personality. So yellow personalities are very supportive. They're all about helping. Help is like the big word for yellows. They're all about cooperation. You'll usually find them in yoga pants. You'll find them in relaxed garb, like whatever that looks like, comfortable garb. You'll find them in a healing profession, whether that's, potentially massage therapy or Reiki or nursing or anything, dental hygiene, whatever, in some sort of a healing profession. They're helpers. Naturally, they are inclined to help, which I already said, but reinforcing that. Many teachers are also yellow. Not 100% of teachers are yellow, but many are, because again, there's that helping sense, like that, like teaching and supporting young people. And connection and community are paramount for yellow people. So that's what they really desire, is opportunities to deeply connect with people in their life and opportunities to strengthen community. I will say though, I'm a yellow. Some yellows tend to thrive more in one-on-one settings than they do in like big group settings. And that's okay too. That kind of goes for yellows and greens. You'll see when I talk about reds and blues, they tend to be a little bit more on the social front. Again, there's going to be like, people who fall within. And of course, we all have our days where we're more introverted versus extroverted. But generally speaking, a yellow is just very focused on helping and supporting and connecting and all of those words. So okay, so let's go into the next personality. So we'll go into blue now. So are you guys making some notes, some rough notes? Okay, just because it'll be helpful when I come back and give you some verbiage. So leave some space under yellow, and then we'll go into blue now. So the blue people in your life, and again, jot down if you thought of a yellow in your life. Okay, so blues are all about the party. They're all about being social. They love action. They're the one at the lake who's on the like wakeboard. They're the one who's like, gathering everyone up for s'mores. And they're the one who's, organizing the birthday party. They're very, very people-oriented. They're fun-oriented. Fun is a huge word for blues. They're often wearing kind of cool clothes. Not always, but often. They're in something, maybe like red or bright blue or yellow. And they sometimes will be the people in your life who have like purple hair or pink hair or a yellow streak or something different, just something unique. They love those outward expressions of fun. They are interested in parties. Like I said, often they're very oriented to travel, events. They have a ton of energy, generally speaking, and usually a pretty good network because, the blue people are fun, and fun people tend to connect with other fun people, right? And they build a lot of enthusiasm. So that is blue. Again, jot down if you thought of somebody in your life who is blue. The red personality. So reds are about winning. They're about money. They're about competition. They're about power. They really like knowing that they can be the best at something. They love achieving. That's very, very much a focal point for the reds. They tend to be managers, real estate agents, or if they're in any other like area or profession, they tend to be really freaking good at their job because they are straight up and they do things they do things quickly, but they do them well. They're very, very good at what they do. And they can be intense. They can be very direct in their speech. And that is, that can come across as, a certain way to some people, but the people who know a red know that that's just the way they are. They're no bullshit. Like, they're not going to tell you a non-truth. They're going to tell you, like, actually, that does look stupid. But you know that it's coming from them loving you. That's a red. Janelle is very red. And I love her to death because that's who she is. And she owns it, right? The people in Janelle's life know that, if she says something, like, that's how it is. Like that, there's that trust factor with the red. They're busy. They are busy. They have things to do because they are high achievers. They are making things happen in their life. So we need to be straight up with a red and not beat around the bush. As soon as we start, sending them paragraphs like this, or, asking them if they want to go on a 2-hour walk with us, like, they're gonna ghost us. They're gonna say like that, like, I can't even handle that. I have 5 minutes, pick up the phone. Like, that's kind of a red's energy. And that busyness is something we want to just be aware of when we are connecting with them, because it's amazing. There's a lot of, you guys will see as you, are a little bit more, I guess, as you're exposed to more in the Young Living world, you'll see the Royal Crown Diamonds. So the people who achieve the highest rank with Young Living, there are Royal Crown Diamonds that are every single color personality. But the reds tend to be the ones sitting on the panels saying what's what. So let's say at convention, every June or July, Young Living has a huge convention. They'll have a panel of Royal Crown Diamonds. I'll bet you 70% of the panel, so let's say they've got 5 people up there, I'll bet you 3 or 4 of those people are red, because that's their personality. They're going to answer questions straight up. They're going to say, this is what I do. This is how I share oils. This is effective. So keep that in mind, that the reds are in front of you, but there are successful Young Living leaders that are every single color personality type. They might just be, the yellow might be guiding like a yoga class. And the blue is like gearing up. Young Living throws like some really crazy parties too. The blue is in charge of the silver party that happens. I think it's usually on the Friday night of convention. So keep that in mind. So red, and did we go through, green. So green personalities. They are like profession-wise accountants, engineers, sometimes nurses. When I'm in nursing mode, I tend to be more green. I'm more kind of analytical and detail-oriented. And they are driven by facts. They're driven by research. They want to know the ins and outs of something before they jump in. And they are often pretty cautious. So the worst thing ever for a green would be for them to make a wrong or a stupid decision. So greens are the ones who are going to ask you 500 things about the kit, or 500 things about the business, or 500 things about whatever it is that they're inquiring about. And that is a good thing. If you have a green asking you questions, you guys, you better believe the wheels are turning. They're looking for what could be wrong here, and it's our job. Remember our verbiage we went through last week? What would you like to know first? What would you like to know next? That's my 100% green verbiage that I use all the time. Okay, I let my greens, I'll be honest with you, early on, I had a harder time with greens in my life because it can sometimes feel like they're pummeling you with questions, depending on the person, like, and how well you know them. Again, if there's a green in your life, let's say your husband's green, you're like, that's just the way his brain works. Like, he wants to know, he's got the Google Maps printed out because he can't rely on like an app. And he has like, the to-do list for going to Hawaii, like that is like in a folder, passports are there, like it's all just like, that's a green's brain, and that's how they thrive, that's how they function. So earlier on, I tended to kind of shy away from those conversations with green, and now I'm like, give it to me. Mama wants to answer your questions, like, let's go. And you'll see there's a lot of green leaders on our team. If you guys are on the Tuesday night calls, you'll pick them out really quick because they're the ones correcting me. They're saying, Jamie, isn't it at 8:30, not 8:15? Or they're saying, is this going to be recorded? Are you recording right now? They're very detail oriented, and somebody who's really yellow like me needs that. I need that. Like, we need leaders on our team, you guys, that are all 4 colors. So you better believe that, like, you find the people in your life who are green, red, blue, and yellow, and you, like, encourage them in the way that is fit to their personality, that they would be a good fit for your team, because we need all. So anyways, and I love, this exercise has really provided me a lot of clarity on embracing different leadership types and what that can look like for my business. I'm sorry, I'm going to close my blind because it's starting to blind me. So I think I saw some light bulbs going off about like what you guys are thinking maybe you are, and that's always fun to identify. Oh, sorry, I just want to finish with green. So greens are cautious, talked about that. They've got spreadsheets. They've got to-do lists. You know, in virtual office, there's that PV assistant function where basically it calculates, like let's say you always want to have 190 PV for your monthly order. It will, you add things to your PV assistant, and then if something goes out of stock, it will automatically add something from your Shayla's like, yeah, I've already set that up. It will add something for you from your PV assistant to your order, so you still get the promos for the month. So a green would already know about that and have it set up. Whereas, you know, if I noticed somebody's order was always like that was always happening to them, like let's say they're always at like 195, but then when their order process, let's say Zing went out of stock or Peace and Calming went out of stock, then they're bumped down to 170 whatever, and they miss out on their monthly promos. I'm gonna want to, as a leader, tell them about PV Assistant and help them set it up, right? Whereas, like I said, a green would be like, oh yeah, I already have that. And a green also often has their inventory of oils. Either like there's an app you can get on your phone. I don't have that app because does not matter to me, and also is not how I like mentally order my oils. I'm like, I would like some of this month. But Christy Brond, who you guys know, is super duper green, and she has that app, and it alerts her when she's low on an oil. She'll get a like push notification. It's like, you need more lavender, because she's always entering when she opens a new oil, and her app updates things for her. That's a green. Okay. So that is the kind of like rough summary of those 4 personality types. And I'm curious, what do you guys think you are?
I am definitely yellow and green.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And you know what, Shayla? Know thyself. Like, what a beautiful combination. You have that soft, you know, like nurturing side of being yellow, but you're also very aware as a green, right? So you have that really nice balance, and know thyself, meaning a green is going to want to be aware that when they're talking to someone, they don't just blab facts at them, right? Because if that person isn't green, it's going to go like this. Same thing with, you know, your yellow side. If you were talking to somebody who's red and you're like, oh my gosh, this oil makes me feel so amazing. I just feel all the tension release when I wear it. Like, I just love Clary Sage. Like, if you had that intonation, like that voice talking to a red, they're already gone. Like I said, they're gonna ghost you. So know thyself allows you to then focus on, again, like we as leaders need to be able to what's that called, chameleon. We need to be able to try on and speak the language of whoever it is we are talking to. It's mostly important that we identify their language, their personality, and speak it to them.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Jenna and Crystal, what do you guys? You're muted.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know. I'm not a specific one. I feel like I'm a little bit of each one, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm red. No
Okay.
bullshit.
Okay.
But I'm also a very cautious person. Like, I do like researching things. I really love my little app. What is it?
Reference guide app?
Yeah, the reference guide app. I love knowing all the little things. I'm also sometimes a social person, so I'm blue, and then I like to be helpful and connect with people in different ways. So I just feel like I'm all of them in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to pick one.
Well, you're exactly right. I think we all are all of them. There's usually one dominant one. So what I would do is ask somebody like your partner or Janelle, or or your sister even, like just ask someone in your life, what would you say I am? And usually they'll be like, I think you're this, even though, like you said, you can see all four within you. And again, that's not the focus of this. Like, knowing our type is fun, but it's not what's going to grow our business. So just ask someone in your life what you think. And Jenna, were you able to jot down the name of somebody in your life who is all four of those personalities?
Oof. No. All four. That's hard.
Oh, like one yellow, one green, one blue.
Oh, you mean one each? Oh, yeah. Well, Janelle was my red. That was funny you said that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's super Janelle.
Yeah.
I think my sister's yellow. My mom's definitely green, I think, because she has lots of questions and she wants to know everything. But
yep.
And then I think my friend Grace is blue.
Love it.
She likes to party.
Totally. Yeah.
And I was just with her this weekend and I was like, you need to calm down, Grace. I can't keep up with you.
Yep. Blues will, they are like Energizer, but they thrive on that social. Like that's where they get their energy, right? So totally. Awesome. I love that. Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. And Crystal?
I'm still a red.
Yeah.
I thought maybe potentially I might be able to change, but I'm still a red. So when you were talking in that frou-frou language about something making you feel good, I literally zoned out.
Totally. See? And we love our reds, you guys, because they're straight up. Like, I love the no bullshit, the no filter. And Crystal, like, I know you just a little bit. That's why people love you. It's magnetic because you know you're going to get it straight up from Crystal. And one of the things that, like, I think that people in your life will appreciate is if you recommend something, Crystal, they trust that recommendation because you say it in a way where you're like, you need clary sage, you need thieves, you need this. And reds, beyond any other color that I've ever seen, when somebody red says that to a friend or family member or even like somebody in their DMs, that person listens because they know they're not being bullshitted, if that makes sense. So it's funny, you guys, the longer I do this business, the more my red side comes out. You guys get to see that a little bit more on these calls because I'm kind of like, let's freaking do this thing. And it's great. Like it's again, a lot of the really successful, highly driven people in the world are very red. And like I said, they're in front of you. They are the ones writing books. They are the ones, what do you call it? Hosting a podcast. They're on panels, they're on TV, like they are in front of you, generally speaking. So awesome. Okay, so where are we going with this? We're already at 9 o'clock, so I want to just make sure we get into the second piece. Now that you have this awareness of the color personalities, I want to talk to you guys about what we're going to do to move you guys forward in your business. I want you guys to have success. And keeping in mind that sometimes success does not always mean that you have X amount of people sign up with a kit. I'm open to the fact that success for you might look different. You might feel really amazing after this 4 weeks because you've had 10 awesome conversations with people in your life about essential oils. It might be 10 conversations, right? You might see success as, finishing this 4 weeks and having 3 people sign up with kits at some point during this 4 weeks. You might see success as, having the skills and feeling like you have this tool belt of how to run your business because you spent this dedicated time, this 4 weeks, learning the skills. That might be success for you in the 4 weeks in this kind of context. But I want to give you guys everything I can to really have your version of success come through, okay? Whatever that is. And so what we're going to do as a group in 2 weeks. I'm thinking we might stick with Mondays just because it ends up being a little bit more like it stays the same, and so it's less to kind of think about, but we can definitely talk about date. So next week is our final week. The week after that, we're going to do an online essential oils class, and I'm going to teach it. Okay? Did you guys just do like a really big exhale because I said I would do it? You're like, okay, she'll do it. So you guys, I have taught probably 50 online classes in my 4 years, maybe more, and a ton in person. Like, this is what I do. This is a big part of running a Young Living business, but I can appreciate that for you guys, if you've never done it, it's kind of weird. And so I want you guys to see me do it, and I want you to be engaged in the class, and I want you to have your people engaged in the class too. Okay? So this class is going to be something that you four, I know Victoria is not here at this moment, but you four will have kind of exclusive access to. I'm going to open it up to the rest of our leaders because sometimes people like just having something to plug people into. But I'm going to teach people about essential oils. I'm going to take them through the kit and how to use it. I'm going to give them the ins and outs of, you know, what I do to oil up and how I use my diffuser, and, you know, what us as a family, what we're paying attention to going into fall. You know, how the Thieves hand sanitizer is so much better than what I used to use, you know, in the hospital, and how it doesn't dry out my hands, but it's still on Health Canada's like approved list. Like, those are the things I'm going to go through in a class. But, and I guess is a better word for where I'm going with this. And what we're going to do as a group, as a 4-week mentoring group, is give you guys the skills to invite to that class using the people in your lives' color personalities. Okay, so I'm going to give you some inviting verbiage tonight. Some words that you can say. A is going to be identifying, well, what color is this person? Or what color do I think they are? And B is going to be getting in conversation with them. You know, it might work with some people in your life who you have good rapport with, but generally speaking, it might take a couple messages or a couple of days of talking or whatever, or even just like one night of reconnecting over text message or Zoom or in person or on FaceTime or whatever, to get to that place where you're like, hey, I'm doing this kind of cool thing. Like, would it be okay if I invited you to this class that I'm co-hosting? Okay, that was very general verbiage, so let's get a little bit more precise, okay? So for a yellow, remembering yellows are all about connection. They're all about feels. Crystal tunes yellows right up because it's like so not her verbiage. But that said, if Crystal's talking to a yellow, she needs to speak their language, because if she tells them to come to a class, they're gonna be like, yeah, no, what's in it for me, right? What's in it for me is what every color personality, every person in the world asks. And so we want to make this relatable to what the color personality cares about. So yellow, here's some verbiage, write this down. I feel like you would love this online event that I'm a part of. Would it be okay if I sent you an invite? I would love for you to come, or I would love for you to hop on to this online event so we can connect. There's that connect word. I would love to connect you with Jamie, who's been using oils for 4 years. Would it be okay if I sent you an invite? Of course, you guys can see there might need to be a little bit more context here, but this is like the inviting actual wording once you're in conversation with people. Another great thing to say to a yellow is, I think you could really help a lot of people with these oils, right? You could help a lot of people. Helping is super, super attractive to a yellow, super interesting. Okay, so those are some rough kind of verbiage pieces, but you can see how connection, community, I care about you, I want you on this call because I think you will like to connect with Jamie, or I want to connect more with you. Those words are all intertwined in that verbiage, and that is very, very magnetic for a yellow. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so let's talk about blue. Yeah.
Are you going to be posting this on YouTube so that I can review the verbiage?
Yeah, I'll post the how will I do that? Yeah, I think I have to upload it. You're right. Yeah, I will, and I'll send it to just this group. Totally.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, blue. Okay, blue. I gotta like put my blue pants on when I do a blue because I'm just like not naturally a blue. We are having this fun online event. Would it be okay if I send you an invite? Would it be okay if I invited you to this online party I'm having? There are prizes. Blues like prizes. Reds also like winning, so reds like prizes, so keep that in mind too. But blues like the fun of a prize and games, right? Getting to play a game or getting to, trivia, all that kind of stuff. Speaking of which, yeah, like Thursday, a lot of blues will show up to our Connect call, right? Because they're like, we're gonna play a game, I get to see people, it's gonna be fun, that kind of thing. You will love the girls I've been getting to know. They are so cool, so fun, and we're all hosting an online event on next Monday. Would it be okay if I sent you an invite? And then another thing to kind of keep in mind with blues, and we'll get into this a little bit more next week as we do kind of like some final preparations, but blues love to talk. They want opportunities to be heard. And so if I was having a hosting in person and I had a blue there, I'd be like, oh my gosh, can you tell us your story about RC and snoring? Right? Like I would be like, tell us your story. And then the blue gets to feel heard. And my hosting has just totally shifted because I have this third party validation of somebody else who's saying like, these oils are the bomb. Okay, blues love to talk. So if we're doing an online event, how can we get them talking? We can get them commenting, right? Commenting during the class, asking questions, laughing along, tagging their friends, or, whatever it is, ask them to comment because they want to know that they can talk and that their voice, is worthy of being heard. And I wrote down too that they might prefer in person. So if you've got someone really blue in your life, Jenna, you might be wanting to set up like a glow serum workshop, right? With like somebody, I'm trying to remember who you said was super blue. Oh, your girlfriend, I can't remember her name, but.
Probably Becky.
Yeah, okay, so Becky, if you think she's blue,
There's a few. She's super blue.
Yeah, she's the one who you're gonna wanna say to her like, hey, I've been, getting into oils. Would it be okay if I hosted a glow serum workshop at your house? I'll bring the wine, I'll bring all the supplies, you just invite your friends. She's gonna be like, oh my God, it's so fun, Jenna's coming over, we're gonna make glow serum, I'm gonna make snacks, and I'm also gonna have this playlist ready, and she's bringing wine, but I'm also gonna bring wine, because like, I never want there to not be enough wine. Like, that's a blue, right?
Yes.
The blues.
She's gonna be like, you had me at the
wine. What's that?
She's gonna be like, you had me at wine.
Totally. So blue. And she's probably gonna put it on her Facebook and invite her whole Facebook community. Like that's a blue.
Yeah.
They're fabulous, you guys. And she probably won't listen the whole class because she's blabbing about like, this crazy story that happened to her. And you just let her. Like you connect with, who you need to, and maybe you like print out the instructions for the glow serum because there's just going to be a lot of chit chat all night. Like, I love it. Okay, that's our blues. We can all think of someone blue in our life, right? They're beautifully exhausting. Okay, greens. Greens care about learning. They want to know what they're going to learn. I need to put some oils on my lower back. It is bothering me. I think you will learn I know would maybe be a little bit more, here I am being yellow. Yellows tend to be a little bit like feely, right? I know you'll learn so much at this online class I'm co-hosting. Would it be okay if I sent you an invite? How about this one? I know you're interested in how essential oils work. The green in your life that's already asked you some questions, right? Would it be okay if I invited you to this online event? Greens also care a lot about the details. My greens hold me to it. They're like, you said, I'm yellow. I say a lot of stuff and I never remember any of it, right? So my greens are like, like timing. They're punctual. So if you tell a green about the class, they're going to want to know that it's from 8 till 8:30. By the way, you guys, I never, ever, ever run an online class longer than 30 minutes. Ideally, I'd keep it under 20. So it's going to be short. You can keep that in mind. Because none of us have the attention span for it. Just, right? We know this. So greens want the details. What time? What exactly are the prizes? They also want to know to the penny the price of the kit. Like if they catch wind, right, that we're going to be speaking about, you know, a specific kit that's the best deal. There's some more verbiage for greens. Greens care about being smart with their finances, right? So they're going to want to know that the kit is $199.75. They're also going to want to know that this month there's a special kit, which I probably don't even know the price of because this is how yellow I am. $167, is that right? $165. Okay, cool. So it's $165 for this new limited edition kit. They're going to want to know those two so they can do their research and compare. Like how they're going to probably do some calculations to figure out how many cents per drop they're paying if they get it in one kit or another. I'm not even kidding you, right, Shayla? People are doing
Totally me.
Yes.
When I was thinking about getting starter kits, I have a spreadsheet that has a price analysis. How much am I paying for this kit, and how much is it actually worth? And
wow. Yeah, she's got the spreadsheet. Like, that's a telltale green, right? They take the time to look into the details because it allows them to make the right decision, right? And then they won't feel like, oh, I made a silly mistake or something like that. Greens don't typically make mistakes, okay? They're very precise. So the exact price is going to be very interesting to a green. So if you have a green joining our event and you know me, that I'm maybe going to probably glaze over a few details because that's just naturally what I do. And also, when you're on an online event, it's hard to speak to all 4 color personalities. I tend to go, if you truly like, okay, this is sidebar, but like, if you guys are like, oh, I don't know what this person is in my life, and like, message me first. Let me help you figure out what color they are. Let's do that first. Let's say for whatever reason you can't get a hold of me and you're like, I need to send this message now. Go yellow if you don't know, okay? Yellow is your go-to if you don't know, because it kind of covers the gamut. And if you hit a yellow with red, if you go the other way around, there's a way to bring it back once you gather more information from them. Maybe their like quick response like connects you to the fact that they actually are red, then you're gonna go red from then on, okay? So just keep that in mind. The like secret code is like, if you're not sure and you can't figure it out and you can't get a hold of me to like ask questions, then go yellow. Where was I going with this? So if you're inviting a green to the event, you know they're on the call, you can see them asking questions and you're like typing back your answers. They're saying like, you know, how many drops of lavender would you use for that? And you're being like, well, I would probably start with 2. You're answering their detailed questions. Then you're going to want to be connecting with them about what other questions they have. You're going to want to be using that verbiage. What would you like to know first? What would you like to know next? You're going to want to be really like nurturing your greens and meeting them where they're at so that they have the information they need to make the right decision. And I will tell you too, that the greens in your life might take longer to jump in. And that's okay, because once a green does jump in, they're extremely loyal. They are like loyal to the end. And that has been so, so true for me on my team and what I've seen from my amazing greens. So just keep that in mind too. The greens in your life, they can take a little bit of, you know, support and nurturing up front and question answering, but you know, which is like, again, a huge part of like why we get paid to do what we do. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying. But know that like when they do make the decision that they're comfortable with, then they're loyal. They love their oils. They use them forever. They talk about them all the time. And they're on ER because they know the value. Like greens are the ones who are doing calculations to figure out if it's a good month to order NFR. Megan does that when the promos, so how do I explain this? When you can't get certain things from the US, Young Living gives us rewards points instead. Megan will do the math to figure out if it's a good month to order from the US. And when it is, she tells us. So I just rely on Megan for a lot of stuff. That's another like trait, right? Just like really being conscious and aware of the monetary pieces, and it's a fabulous support for our team especially. Okay, so that's verbiage. Now I want you to, in the next week, start having conversations with people in your life that are these color personalities. Okay, of course everybody is a color personality, so the people in your life, the people on your Instagram, if you have not yet put yourself out there in the fact that like, hey, I use lavender to help me sleep, or I'm using this thief spray and I feel so great that I don't have to use chemicals on the floors where my dogs walk, or whatever. If you haven't done any of that stuff, this would probably be a good week to like put that out there and see what kind of interaction you get with the people in your life. We're all different and we all have different comfort levels, but like, if I could give you a little push to kind of like encourage those types of like you being out in the world, talking about what you're using. And that can be one-on-one, that can be, in a group setting. What Crystal did is perfect with her bug lotion, right? The outdoor lotion. But this is the week to really kind of put this together so that you can get into some good conversations with people. I will get the event up in the next, I'm going to say 2 days, so that we have something to plug people into. And it won't just be we'll talk more about this next week, because I'm going to have you guys in there too, posting about how you use your oils. It'll be a public group, but like it's a set group where you could just share about like, what is the like allergy roller that you love, Shayla, or what is the, what are these things that you're using on a day-to-day basis? Because you guys, your people will listen to me, probably, hopefully, but they care about what you do with your oils. They care about how you use your oils. And so if you're not doing the live video that I'm doing, that's fine. And by the way, if you want to go live in there and practice doing a 2-minute live video of making a roller, perfect. You guys are so welcome. I don't think I've said this yet, but your content, anything you desire, it helps our community grow and be fostered when you guys plug the stuff that you're doing on a regular basis into like the Joy and Oils Collective. If you're doing something business related and you want to share about it, put it in the sharing collective. Like those spaces are not mine. They are ours. And the more your people see your name popping up, the more they're going to connect the dots that this is you. Like this is your lifestyle and you care about this too, enough to share about what it's doing for you and how you're using it, and on and on and on. So sometimes I find greens often need permission too. I remember one time I said this to Megan. She was like, oh, okay, I'm allowed to post in there. Thank you so much for telling me. So this is your permission slip. If you've been wondering if you're allowed to share content in the Joy and Oils Collective or the Sharing Collective or whatever, even if like it's business related, you're reading some awesome Audible book about network marketing or something like that, like have at her, you guys. The more you get comfortable with having a voice on those platforms, which is, it's a big way we connect with our audience or with our members and with our prospects and that kind of thing, the better, because your voice is what they care about. And again, they'll probably listen to me to a certain degree, but they're going to connect with what you do because you're the one who got them started with oils. And it's something you said that connected, that hit a chord, that made them grab their kit, that made them grab Ningxia or whatever it is. Okay. So I'll get that group up, or sorry, the event up. I have to be clear about how we're doing this. So that's going on. I'll get that event up and we will have content in there in the days leading up to make it interesting and to make it somewhere that they feel comfortable inviting to. Next week, we're going to talk about something called taprooting, which is another way we're going to take our inviting to the next level. We're going to see, you guys, like, can we get like 500 people watching? Can we get like 1,000 people watching? I'm not kidding you. We're going to see what we can do with this event to grow your businesses. And I'm pumped for you guys. This is going to be an awesome, awesome way to kind of see it all come together and move forward with, whatever it is you desire. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's some really great conversations that get started in your life. Maybe it is conversion. Maybe people do, grab their kit and jump in. And maybe it is that you have that full picture. And so you're confident to then 2 weeks from then host your own online class. One other thing I'll say, Essential Oils 101 is great, but when we can make our classes more tailored to a certain thing, people are more interested. So this will probably be a going into fall essential oils class. It's the same, it's the same, but I will tweak it to like a wellness roller and Thieves hand sanitizer and RC in the diffuser. And I'll just tailor it because that makes it more, it's got a flavor. And to be honest with you guys, you are getting started or reinvigorating your businesses at the ideal time. Fall, which we call, I think it's the third quarter. Am I right with that? Or fourth quarter? Anyways, fourth quarter? I don't know. Technical, I don't know. Is the largest 3 months of the year. September, October, and November is when our business kaboom explodes, and it's because of the work we do the rest of the year. So this summer we are doing a lot of planting seeds, and in the fall it all comes up. You guys will see September, October, November of last year is when I hit gold, which is a crazy rank. 35,000 OGV is what our team did in sales that month. That is bonkers, but it happens in those months because they are huge months for Christmas, for fall, just like general wellness. And this year, more than any, right, 2020, with what's going on a global scale, people are interested in wellness. They are going there is nothing more important than that I have my health. That's what people are saying right now. That's what we're all saying, right? Our health is the most important thing. Anything that's going to help me keep my body above the wellness line, I'm interested in. So when you're inviting, have that energy about you, have that posturing, and know that what we are offering is unlike any other, essential oil brand on the market, any other, supplement, whatever, because we give community, we give support, we give connection, we give so many other pieces that people are really, really looking for in this time, comes with them grabbing their starter kit. So keep that in mind too. I would love to unmute. I'd love to hear an inspired action. And also just, any comments you have, anything that resonated particularly. When you guys tell me that made a lot of sense, I will highlight it in my notes. And when I'm taking the next group through, which could very well be your set of leaders, maybe, from this class, I'm going to set this vision for you. From this class, let's say you have 20 people that watch, 3 of them grab their kits, 2 of them want to do the business. They're on the next 4 weeks. Okay, set that vision. That's how quickly things move. Okay, it can happen. It will happen. Conscious language is super, super important. All right, unmute as you like. I'd love to hear an inspired action, something you can complete in the next 24 hours that's going to bring your business, drive your business forward. Of course, after that 24 hours, our motivation is in half. So less likely that we will actually move forward with that inspired action. And it's those little actions. I've said this to you guys 5 times already, but I'm going to keep saying it. It's those little actions that build our confidence in the fact that we will say what we're going to do. It's not the big things. It's not the big master plans that we create that we must execute to feel confident in ourselves and that we do what we were going to, or we do what we said we were going to do. It's the little incremental movements forward that build that confidence. Okay. All right, let's hear.
I'm just looking for clarification before I do make my inspired action. For the Joy and Oils Collective, is that strictly for people that have already purchased Gym Living products, or is that for people that are prospective members?
Really good question. It is for current members. So people who have, at this point, I don't police it, and I don't delete people who are inactive just because I don't have the wherewithal to make that happen. That might be something that we do in the future, but at current times, it's people who have had an active account on our team.
Okay.
So they have a kit, or they've ordered 3 oils or an Ningxia kit or thieves or whatever. Very good question. If you're looking for somewhere to plug in your people who are not yet members, we call that a lead group. That's for our leads, people who are like, I need to know more information, usually greens. There is a group called J&O, Well and Oily. I'll be honest, it's kind of been on the back burner for me. I haven't been posting a ton in there at all, just because there's a lot on the go in our business right now. But that said, if you want to plug people in there, there's a lot of stuff you can tag them in, and you are more than welcome to add content in there, knowing that your leads are in there. And you guys, I have a lot of what I would call like kind of stagnant leads in there too. If you get in good conversation with someone and you end up converting them and they want oils, I'll put them on your team, no problem. So just keep that in mind too. That's our lead group, Join Oils Well and Oily, J&O Well and Oily. That's for prospects. And sometimes it's, sometimes it's what they need. They just need that little bit of clarity on how to use an oil or whatever it is. I try to add that content in there, but that's for non-members. And as soon as they become a member, they can stay in the lead group, and then we move them into the Join Oils collective. We tag them in the welcome post. And actually, this is really, I'm so glad you asked this, Shayla, because this is giving me really good clarity about where to go next week. So next week, you guys, we're going to talk about taprooting. We're also going to be talking about supporting a new member, because I have a whole checklist for you guys on just what to do, because I find that's a huge area of concern for people who are starting. Okay, awesome.
So I think I'm going to check out that lead group, and then I'm going to see if I can plug in a big green in my life into that group.
Fabulous. I love it. So doable too.
On Wednesday, I invited an old girlfriend of mine from work. She doesn't work with me anymore, but she's like my super hippy dippy friend. And I keep thinking about her now that I'm super into this. And I think she's going to be the perfect person who's going to love it. So I think tomorrow before we get together, I'll ask her if it's okay if I talk to her about the oils to see if it's something she might be interested in. So then I can put together maybe a roller for her or something. But I can guarantee she's gonna love it. I'm
Yay.
I think I should reach out to her, because she honestly is yoga teacher, just loves all the natural stuff. So I think she'll really love it.
Would you call her Yellow?
I would totally call her Yellow. Yeah.
Perfect. So, you're going to want to talk about connecting and the support that oils provide, and how, if there's anyone in her life she's looking to help, these oils, she can make up rollers for the people in her life. And this is how easy it is to make a spray. She's going to want that kind of, I find yellows too are very sensory based. So I've always got music on. Of course, I'm always diffusing. That's a given. But I've got, bright light in my house. The yellows are all that sensory, spa experience.
Yeah.
Really important to them. So
totally.
Awesome. I love it. Crystal.
I actually sent out a little kit, little wellness mail. So I need to follow up with her. I sent it out last week, and my mom got a package that I sent at the same time. So I'm thinking she either got it or she's going to have it tomorrow.
Awesome.
So I should probably follow up with her and just see if anything sparked her interest. I sent her a themes packet, and then the product guide, and then the new printouts that you guys did up.
Fab. Crystal, what color would you say she is?
Unfortunately, a yellow.
I know you're saying that with love. Okay. So you can speak yellow, can't you? With what you know, right? What are you gonna,
Maybe not on the spot. I'd probably have to write it out a couple times before I knew exactly what to say.
Yeah. How did the oils make you feel? Did you like the smell of them? What did you notice? You know, I'm so happy to connect with you about this.
Yeah.
There's some fun little verbiage. You can do it. I believe in you. You can, red and yellow can tend to be kind of like opposite, but you have a yellow side too. It's just maybe a little bit less prominent. Well, obviously less prominent than red for you, but it's in there. You can pull it out, and it's kind of like, you guys know on Harry Potter, I don't know Harry Potter that well, but like the sorting hat and like which house you're in, like we all could get any house. We just get to decide like what color are we going to pull out of ourselves and speak to. This is probably like the worst Harry Potter analogy you guys have ever heard, but like but like, yeah, it's that idea, right? We have it all within us, but which one are we gonna select or be sorted by? Oh gosh, that was terrible. All right, I'm going to connect with Victoria, and we'll be good to go next week. We're going to do tap rooting and supporting new members, and have you guys feeling so confident, so ready. I want you to feel excited about this event, and have that ownership around it, right? Where you can invite to it because you are doing it. You are a co-host. You are leading it. And that the more engaged you are in this event that we're doing together, the more results you're going to see. Whether that's an amazing conversation or whether that's a kit sale, the more you show up for this, the more your business is going to grow. So I'm pumped, you guys. It's going to be fantastic. And we'll connect in the chat and let me know if you have any questions. Have a beautiful night.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, see you later.